welcome to this episode of MOAR Tech. I'm your host, Michael, and this is a returning face, who's my co-host, Vicquell.
Hello.
Welcome back, Vicky. How's it been?
It's been good. Very restful.
I can imagine. Now, I do want to get into what our topics for today are. And for the starters, a lot of things this week we've gotten word that they're going to die. It's Internet Explorer / Edge is going to die. Tumblr has made an announcement which we're pretty much predicting it's going to die. There's Facebook's Allo, and the current method for Hangouts is going to die. Just a lot of different stuff here and there. But when you really think about it, whoops, okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so from pretty much what we found out in terms of internet browsers, we found out that Internet Explorer / Edge is going to be, well, gotten rid of and replaced with a Chromium, or essentially what that means is that, well, Chrome, it's an alternative to Chrome, meaning that it's actually an alternative to it. It's built to be essentially the same basis, just without Google on it. So for the most part, it's going to either look like Chrome or act like Chrome. Now, what Microsoft can do, in my opinion, is probably give it a reskin and make it seem more like the Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer kind of vibe. But in my opinion, I actually hate those designs. Like, what's your thoughts on like Edge and whatnot dying, Vicky? I know you're a Mac user, so
yeah, for me, it doesn't really bother me too much because I use Safari. But if I have to help my dad out with like his computer and stuff, like most of the time he always clicks on Microsoft Edge, and I always go back behind him and I click Chrome, because for me Chrome is just easy to use than Microsoft Edge, because I haven't used Microsoft Edge since it was Internet Explorer. So trying to like navigate between that is kind of odd. So I automatically go back to Chrome because Chrome has been the same since I was in high school, which is like the last time I used Chrome. So it's so much easier. So like, and most people tend to automatically, like, as soon as they get a laptop, whether it be, I don't know, so you have some people that's faithful to Safari and you have others that's faithful to Chrome. So like some persons, when they get their Mac, they would download Chrome and use that instead of Safari, and like you have others that would just like download Safari. But for Windows, for sure, I'm 100%. I feel like most people who purchase a Windows device automatically go to install Chrome to use as their default browser.
Yeah, pretty much. I know a lot of people use Internet Explorer or Edge to download Chrome or Firefox. Usually it was Firefox back in the day, but now it's more so Chrome than anything.
Yeah, I remember Firefox was when I was in, I'd say junior high. I had elementary, junior high. And like Chrome was high school, and first you saw like the different skins for Chrome.
Yeah, the good days. Back when Firefox actually used to care about its marketing.
Yeah, and Firefox was making sense.
Yeah. And before all the memory issues and everything like that. That kind of...
Now, I think, like, I feel as though Google Chrome has most of the... Well, Google Chrome is probably like the most popular internet browser now.
You know, I would actually agree with that. I would really agree with that. And that would make sense that Microsoft is taking and building on something that's essentially one of the more popular browser bases. They're getting the rendering engine, the pretty much all of the backbone to what makes Chrome, or pretty much any of the alternatives, because there's actually quite a few alternatives out there. Thank you, Tammy. Welcome to the stream. Um, but honestly, like I know Chris had mentioned it inside the WhatsApp group earlier this
Hmm.
week. Pretty much that he was glad that Internet Explorer and whatnot are going to die because for web developers, it also means that you don't have to really put as much of an emphasis on coding for that anymore, which admittedly can be daunting because then certain things don't work, certain things are depreciated, certain things just look out of place because of how it renders. Um, and so when you actually get to the coding for the website, it just means that you have less to do to make it look uniform across the different browsers, which is always beneficial. But
Touche, I can understand that.
yeah, like
Less things for developers to have to worry about.
exactly. So if Internet Explorer essentially, but this also causes an issue now I think about it because Internet Explorer, if they get rid of Internet Explorer, a lot of companies only really code for Internet Explorer for their business side of stuff, which means that it's going to break when it goes to Chrome or Firefox, whatever else. So that's going to be interesting if they actually like do the same thing with Internet Explorer, or if they're just going to kind of leave it in a defunct and like no longer developed state.
Hopefully, hopefully those companies are paying attention to the news and they realize that Internet Explorer is about to kick the bucket. So they should probably try to find developers to code for other browsers.
I mean, that would make the most sense. But I personally know companies that haven't updated their code since. I mean, let me put it this way: they've updated their code, but they have not enabled browser compatibility, which is stupid. You're in 2018. You're actually going on to 2019 now. Like, you need to come up and be up on par with stuff. But also on the other point of it, like it also leads to the fact that what happens when okay, actually hold on. This year for WWDC, did Apple allow Chrome users to watch, or was it still just Microsoft Edge?
I'm not sure, I always never have an issue because everything I use is predominantly Apple, so I always watch on like Safari. So I don't have the issue. I actually didn't realize that they don't allow persons if they're not using like an Apple browser to not watch um their presentations. I didn't realize until you guys said it this year, and that's when I noticed it. But I feel like no. I think the September event was the first time that they did it on Twitter, so never mind.
Yeah, I think it was actually that same one that they allowed Chrome users on. And that was the first time period. Because I think it was the year before, either I forget if it was 2017 or 2016 that they allowed Edge users to be like the first outside of Safari, unless you like hijacked your user agent and like changed up a bunch of stuff in your browser to make it look like a Safari browser, which kind of is weird because then it proves the fact that it could have worked in other browsers without any issue.
That's like so much work. So much work for a keynote that's going to be on YouTube in like a couple of hours.
Yeah, but you know, people like watching things live. They like to be the first out, and then that allows them to like tweet about it and blog and everything like that. So I don't know.
They should use Safari.
Oh my gosh. The thing about it is, I don't think Windows users on Safari could have actually done it. Thanks for following, Best G. Which is kind of weird. Like, I don't think Safari users on Windows could have. I think it was only Edge. And then before that, it was just like Mac products could watch it. Yeah. Anyway, that I'm glad. Well, now that it's actually like brought back up, if they do get rid of it, then since Chrome is working for it, then I mean it shouldn't cause any issues unless someone else decides to be really redonkulous.
I felt like persons from Microsoft should have teamed up with. Well, I doubt they're going to do it, but they could just like team up with Chrome and like help them to create their own version of Chrome, like what they're doing. But personally, teaming up with Chrome themselves instead of just doing it their way, if that makes sense.
I agree, but at the same point, Microsoft likes to gain information for themselves. So that's the whole reason why they continued with the remake of MSN.com into Bing.com.
And it
For
is so annoying. Like everything they do, not like in this new generation, is just like crap. I can't use Bing as a search engine.
I can't.
I don't know how persons use it. I couldn't use my Microsoft Edge. Well, but I think the only thing I could actually probably use from now is the Office suite and well, the Office Studio. What do they call it? Suite. Anyway, Microsoft
Yeah, sweet.
Office
Yeah.
and Microsoft MSN Messenger back in the day, which you don't have,
Ooh,
Clay, you don't have now.
yeah.
So I actually can't use anything much from now. Oh, actually no, the new Windows software isn't bad,
Windows
but
10.
I prefer to use it on a touchscreen. I don't know, it's just easier for me to navigate on a touchscreen.
That's fair enough. I remember when Windows 10 first came out, it was complete and utter crap, and same for Windows 8.
You know,
Uh,
I think that, I think nothing was worse than
Emmy.
Vista.
Emmy was worse.
Oh, I didn't use Emmy. I used 95, 2000, XP, and just in 7. I stopped at 7. And I used it on my sister's laptop back when she had a Windows. Oh man, that was hard to navigate too, and I had to use it with a touchscreen.
Yeah. Fun times.
It's like I don't know. It's just something about Microsoft. Like that thing's just don't. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't take well for me. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, see, therein lies other problems with these developers. Like they make these things and they don't always, how should I put it? Keep it up to date. Like look how they're dealing with Skype. Like they decided to try and make Skype into a like Windows 10 modern app, which people hated the fact, and so they rolled that back and allowed it to be a desktop download. You've got Google, who has quite literally 7 different messengers, and now they're deciding to shut down 2 of them, which is Hangouts and Allo. Which they're not really closing down Hangouts; they're just transferring it to Hangouts, like the what they have for the enterprise customers. They're just making it more consumer based as well. So you still technically have Hangouts still around. So they don't always make these things with the intent of longevity in mind, it seems, or for the
They
consumer's
just
best
make it
interest.
for they make it for the time being, and then after a while, it's on to the next one.
Essentially, that's how it feels like for 2016 to now. That's kind of how it's felt, in my opinion.
Because I don't have to deal with that.
Okay, here's the next thing that's happened though. So question: do you have a Tumblr?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Is it full of porn? Yes, it is.
Will be like on this? What was it? December 14th, I think it said.
I think it's the 17th, 18th. Anyway, somewhere in the teens. Sometime next week, it's going to be gone.
Yeah, it will not be full of porn anymore.
Yeah.
And okay, so this is a problem for a lot of different reasons. But the reason for it even starting was because Tumblr has not been really moderating anything, period. The reason why they're up in arms about it now and going, as a lot of people are calling it, nuclear, is because Apple decided to pull their app from the App Store.
Like that upset me that week, and they did that because like I had Tumblr on my phone, and like just a few days before they did that, I uninstalled it. And I got the notification from 9 to 5 Mile. They pulled it from App Store. And I just did like mother freeze shit. And then like now I'm hearing the news about it. I said like Apple start this drama.
Yep, they
Like
did.
Tumblr was fine until Apple came and poked their nose into someplace it didn't belong.
But I mean, Apple within all rights, the Apple was right to do what they did because, like I said, Tumblr wasn't really moderating itself, and they had a lot of child porn on it apparently, and that's a no-no that's a no-no just period. I shouldn't even just say like on the internet. That's just a no, period. And so because they weren't moderating that stuff and actually running it through a database to make sure like these things got deleted instantly or just were prohibited from being uploaded, Apple said screw you and you either clean up or we get rid of you. And Tumblr's decided, okay, yeah, sure, we're gonna clean up, we're gonna clean everything up. So they've now gone with the logarithms, which, you know, would have been fine if it didn't also include things like regular like detective comic books or like fan fictions, which are quite literally just text, or, you know, just things that are art and not necessarily porn, because they're not getting rid of just child porn, they're getting rid of porn, period. And they're going above
That's
and
half
beyond.
that's half like the population. Literally everybody Tumblr page has some type of porn on it. I don't care who it is, it has some type of porn on it. And it's simply because when they're scrolling down their Tumblr newsfeed, they may follow somebody that's going to share porn. So like when you're scrolling down, like it's just like it's kind of like oh man, what is it called? Like a reflex. So it's like automatically reblog it. So like it doesn't matter what it is, you're automatically gonna reblog it because like that's what you do. Like when you scroll, just like on Instagram, you scroll and you'd end up like double tapping on something to like it.
Yep.
So that's how like porn ends up on people's Tumblr. Now they want to lose half their audience.
Well, you're actually right. Like there was a study done in 2017 where they found out that essentially half of Twitter's population, they that was the amount of people that they ran this survey on. About 1/3 actively only use Tumblr for porn.
See?
So yeah, that's not including the people who like casually use it for porn or anything like that. This is not I mean, that probably would include the sex workers, the people who just do porn just like for casual as recreation, or people who just like doing artistic nudes or anything like that.
And I feel like specific porn pages usually like have like they have like this whole like kind of like a porn library where if you're interested in this type of porn, they'd have to give you like links to go on these different porn websites for that type of porn.
I think I remember hearing
So
about that.
yeah, and like you have some persons who like I have a friend that kind of used Tumblr as like a Tinder. I don't know how, but like they ended up like meeting people through Tumblr and like doing like what people on Tinder do via
Interesting.
Tumblr.
I've never heard of that happening. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I mean, things like that could probably still work out, but
But if the people ain't on there and on Tumblr to use it for porn anymore, you can't really speak to people.
that's true. And therein lies the problem. Like, if if essentially anywhere from 1/3 to half of your population goes, and it's already been shown with the stock dropped like almost immediately after they announced that, like a lot.
Like, I've never seen like so much because like when I was in high school, Tumblr like in like my latter years of high school, Tumblr was really popping. Like a lot of people had Tumblr when I was in high school, and then like after I graduated, it seemed like Tumblr wasn't really as popular anymore. And like it was like few people who still use Tumblr, and like when they announced it that day, I was on Twitter and like there's so much Tumblr people, like so much like undercover Tumblr people like popped out of the woodworks to like complain about it. And I was like, I've never seen so much uses since I was in I graduated high school in my life.
Like
So you
Tumblr,
could tell like people were really upset.
Tumblr was essentially that app that you had on your phone, but you didn't talk about. But everyone knew
Yeah.
if you had it on there, it's probably for a particular reason, which is porn. So yeah, like everyone is essentially saying because of this, once that actually happens, and the fact that they're going so hard on it and actually doing a lot of false positives. That's kind of funny. False positives on a pornography, sex-based kind of thing. It's essentially going to kill off the site, and people are just going to stop using it, period. And the funny thing is, actually, no, this isn't even funny. The sad thing is, while they're doing this, there's still like racism like rampaging through the website with like white power groups, black power groups, people going against particular like different types of minorities essentially of all kinds. And it's like, okay, what about this stuff over here? Like, aren't you gonna go nuclear on that as well? Like, if you're gonna go like so purist, let's actually go purist. But I guess people don't care about that.
I had actually saw something about that. I think it was on either Twitter or Reddit today. Where like they had like someone took like a screenshot of Tumblr, like they searched in something, I think white porn. They searched in something, and Tumblr was like, oh, sorry, we can't find something like that for you. And then they typed in something else in regards to like the whole racism slur thing, and Tumblr was able to like find a bunch of different pages with it.
Mm-hmm. Which is sad that you're going to enable that. Of all things, that's also something that you're not going to moderate properly. So, yeah, essentially this might end up being another, what was that, like Reddit alternative site vote or goat or something. I know it's not. Anyway, essentially it's one site that eventually became like a white supremacist alternative website that complete is bull. But yeah, to sum it up, Reddit, well, not Reddit, Tumblr essentially, at least to me, is dead. And to a lot of people, it's gonna be dead.
Yeah, so by next week, it's going to go bye-bye.
Yeah. It'd be interesting, like, if they actually, like, still somehow float around like MySpace. Somehow.
Until they officially kick the bucket.
Kind of, yeah. Like, I remember MySpace went down, and then it, like, you couldn't really go on it anymore, and then it just kind of came back, and it was, now it is where it is, and like no one still like goes on it, but it's just still kind of there, just for like memory's sake. White pancakes. Tumblr was not always dead. It always depended on what you were looking for and the type of communities that you were looking for. I mean, that's actually another community that could actually be hit. I'm thinking, like, there's a lot of fan fiction on there, and a good amount of it is erotic literature. So that's going to be interesting too. But that's probably getting wiped out as well.
I get a lot of like persons to come on to like do like share artwork and all type of good stuff there. Like, you have like fan art for me, I had like a bunch of Doctor Who stuff because I was following their Doctor Who official page. So like, yeah, like a bunch of fan art for different like Doctor Who characters. And like fan art for like the comics that I was reading and stuff like that. So sigh. It's the porn.
Hey, I see we have some new faces. Hey, Dwight. How you doing, man? And we have Boris Johnson 69. Welcome to the stream, guys. How you guys doing today? So, yeah, I mean, the communities that are on Tumblr, I feel bad for them because if Tumblr actually does lose a lot of people and it does die, then they pretty much now need to find a new space because a lot of
Place.
people
Yep.
used it like a live journal of a sorts. They used it
Use
to
it for blogging.
exactly. So now that it's actually going to die, or at least that's our projection. I don't really know of a place that really fits fan fictions and well, fan communities all that well other than Reddit. I already know a lot of people are going to be switching over to Reddit, especially because Reddit allows porn. But no, Tumblr is not quite like Reddit. Tumblr is a little different in how they present it, and essentially it's more like a Instagram kind of situation. Like you post pictures, or you can post text, and people can reblog it essentially, and that's or like it. And reblogging is how you go viral, which is very similar to how Instagram does their thing, except it's just pictures for them, pictures or videos. On Tumblr, you can do pictures, text, images. Well, pictures and text, well, pictures and images, the same thing. But like, I was just about to say GIF files because the old English language of it, but GIF files.
Tumblr is high key, the starting age for how popular GIFs is now. Felt
Yeah,
for me.
pretty much. No, you're
Because that's
pretty
actually
right.
that's where I found out about GIFs from Tumblr when I was in high school.
I mean, they were around from before then. They were mainly on like forums and stuff like that. You didn't really see them too much on Facebook, dude. I don't think they actually had integration into Facebook for a while.
Until I think Facebook had them. I think WhatsApp had them either last year or year before last, and Facebook had them shortly around the same time as well.
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
remember correctly.
you're right.
And then Twitter had them. Twitter had them close to that time or either a year before.
I think it was
But Tumblr had
before.
them. But Tumblr had them for a while.
Yeah. I remember you had to do like special things, like either just use like a link to it or something, and then they would load it, and that's how you would do it. But it wasn't like integrated. Boris, why do you find the term viral funny? Are you thinking like an STD or something like that? But yeah, so Reddit seems to be the place where a lot of people are going to be going with their stuff. I know that there are other social networks that are artistically nude positive, not sex worker positive kind of stuff, but artistically nude, yes. Oh, you work in a nursing home. Okay, I still don't get it. Like, how does that, like, give me the correlation between that and viral, please. Something going viral is a bad thing. Okay, so it's it's more like a bacterial virus kind of thing being transmitted via the air, getting old people sick. I get it. Yeah. In that sense, the medical sense, yeah, it's a bad thing. I get what you mean. But essentially that's what it means. Like it's spreading. That's where the word viral gets its connotation from. But yeah, so there are places that people can go. It's just actually getting the community to switch over, I think, is going to be the harder part. But luckily, they're giving people a few, like about a week or two, essentially, to work together, start sharing, hey, you can find me over at this place, or we're going to be moving over to this community, that kind of thing. So in that sense, it makes sense. And if you do want to blame anybody for Tumblr's essential death,
blame Apple.
Well, no, blame Verizon, because Verizon owns Tumblr. It's because of their poor management.
Tumblr was owned by Yahoo.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Yahoo got bought out by Verizon, though.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, if anything, blame Verizon for their poor management of their social network. And yeah, Tumblr is dead, guys. I've said it. Say depends on what's being spread, even online. Yeah, because some good stuff could be spread online. Some bad stuff. I mean, look at the whole Travis Scott thing that happened just this past week, and people went gaga over something that was completely false.
Oh, I saw it. Like in my head, it's like, oh, it's another one, and I just continued scrolling.
Yeah, yeah. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really care about the Kardashians or the Jenners. And then I saw like a few days later, it was like, hey, we fooled the internet. I'm like, really? Anyway. Boris still misses Yahoo Messenger, but you're old. Well, I remember AIM and like Windows Live Messenger and ICQ and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm right there with you with like feeling Yahoo Messenger as being old.
I remember Yahoo Messenger as well.
The social media filter opinions. Typically not. Unless they are radical. Let's say like your ISIS, for example. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that on this.
This video flagged.
Yep, we're about to get flagged, guys. Essentially, if you're something like that, then you could get banned. You could get filtered out. They could say that you're a bot, things like that, and try to stop that kind of stuff. If you are just speaking your mind, then people can just mute you or like unfollow you or however it is and just not see your content anymore. So the social media networks themselves typically do not, but they give the options for the users to do it. So
I do it all the time on Instagram.
Exactly. So it all depends. Now, we do want to start talking about some. See, here's the thing, guys. Christmas is coming, and maybe or maybe you want to share with your loved ones and some a little nudge to say, hey, check out this video for some ideas as to what to get me for Christmas. Not me, but you. And no one Facebook did not buy Tumblr. Verizon did. Well, Yahoo did, and then Verizon bought Yahoo. Facebook does not want Tumblr. I don't think they've ever put in a request for that. But Vicky, do you want to lead things off with your suggestions for people to get for Christmas?
My list. My Christmas list is well, number one, if they're an Apple person, depending on their ecosystem, then I would say get them AirPods, because I feel like AirPods are like one of the most like, I don't know. I think they're just like the perfect gift to get for somebody. So like $150 or like 160 something. My next pick would be an Amazon Echo, but also depending on their ecosystem, if they're like an Apple fan, boy or girl, then I'd say get them a HomePod. But you could also get the Amazon Echo for the persons who are really interested in smart home speakers. If you just like want to talk to Alexa to like tell her to give you jokes or tell her to play a certain song, give you the news and so on, you can get that. You can get them a Fire Stick. They're really big on binging TV shows or movies. Then I would say like a Fire Stick is like the perfect thing to get them. But if they're an Apple person, then I would say get them an Apple TV. And my fourth pick was actually a Sonos Beam soundbar with Amazon Alexa. So my dad actually has a soundbar, and like again, if they're a big TV or movie person, a soundbar would like come perfectly with that because it's going to like display the sound straight like around them. So it's basically going to increase the sound for them. So like that would be like a perfect gift to get this person who's really interested in movies, TVs, even music for like sound quality to improve it. And my fifth pick is a HomePod, depending on if they're in the Apple ecosystem, I would prefer a HomePod. I don't know. I think it's really nice. Though, if you're not an Apple Music person, then if you're not an Apple Music person, you're more like a Spotify person, then you're not going to benefit from the HomePod. So if you're more of a Spotify person over Apple Music, then like you could get like not Alexa, the Amazon Echo, unless you have like other Apple devices and you just like want to AirPlay Spotify to the HomePod and tell it instead of being like, oh, hey Siri, play a certain song, and it comes straight through from the HomePod because the HomePod uses Apple Music. So yeah, those are my picks.
Okay. Juan here is saying that the wish list of Vicky could be all iPhone version collections in one box.
I could actually take that.
Yeah, like she would.
It would go perfect with my collection now.
She'd keep all the boxes and probably keep them all in the box as well. Just like have them like stacked up on the wall against something.
Yeah, I have like all my for the accessories that I don't, because like I have a bunch of lightning cable already, so like most of my accessories are still in the box. All my stickers are still in the box because I haven't used them. Like I just keep them for keeping them safe. Like I have stickers from like my third gen iPod Touch that I haven't used. I just like keep them, so everything gotta be in the box.
So yeah, Juan, that's actually a pretty good idea. My suggestions for Christmas gifts are, we are going into the eating season, aka Christmas. Stuff your face full of stuff and stuffing. But after that, of course, is the New Year's resolutions, and so people are probably going to start trying to go for the gym. Yeah, see, you didn't think about this. So I would probably go with something like a fitness tracker of some sorts. Find out which one they prefer. Like Fitbit would actually be my personal suggestion. Unless they already have
people like Fitbits.
Yeah, unless they have like an Apple Watch or a Google Watch, Google Wear Watch or something like that that can already track their fitness kind of levels and stuff like that. If that's not really their thing, they're more like a homebody, well, you could probably, and if you want to splurge a little bit, you can get them something like a Roku or a Fire Stick, like Vicky would have said. Essentially something that doesn't require you having to buy them an entire new TV just to give them smart connections. If they are just the gamer type, then feel free to take a look at what type of accessories that they're going to be having. Do they play on PS4? If so, maybe a headset, maybe a new controller, maybe a new game. Or, just something on the side that can maybe help elevate their game for them. When it comes to those of us who run Android, well, Vicky didn't mention it, but there's also the Google Home stuff, like the Google Wi-Fi, the Google. There's now one that's actually like a tablet that you can use, very similar to the Amazon Echo Show. No, we're still having cookies, Juan. I just need to burn them off at the gym. Okay. Really, you're gonna laugh at me, Vicky? Really? But yeah, there's a lot of different little things that you can probably get for people. don't forget, like, things like the Nintendo Switch, like, these are becoming popular nowadays. Especially now that games like Pokemon Let's Go is out. Pokemon, the next generation game, should be coming out next year. We have Super Smash Brother Ultimate coming out in just a few days. You can probably get them like a little combination of that, or maybe even a limited edition version of the Super Smash Bros. Or Let's Go bundle. You know, there's a lot of different little stuff like that. And
Yeah, I have to buy my nephew Pokemon. Let's Go. He wants that, so I'm gonna get it for him.
are you gonna get him like with the little Pokeball as well?
I should.
You
I mean,
should.
he doesn't. He honestly don't play his console games. He plays a lot on the computer. But if he wants it, I'll get it for him. And whenever I visit, I can just go play it.
I mean, I still haven't done the review for this game yet, but I mean, if he wants to easily level up his Pokemon, just pop one inside one of here, walk around for a day, come back, connect it to his Switch, and it'll level up like crazy. So
I shall let him know.
yes. And White Pancakes is correcting me. It's not coming out in a few days. Super Smash is coming out tomorrow. So, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Because tournament on Saturday.
Yep. That's right.
Gotcha,
Well,
gotcha.
actually, it's not a tournament. It's more of a free-for-all that's happening on Saturday.
Oh.
Just like
Well,
a
that is the
casual kind
the
of thing.
tournament title. Ah.
Yeah, it's just a casual thing. Tournament was gonna happen later on. But yeah, so if you really want to go expensive, maybe take a look at a tablet or a laptop. Tablets nowadays cost almost as much as a laptop, so you may want to just take a look at a laptop now. Especially if you're taking a look at like the iPad Pros or something like that, then
Yes,
yeah.
especially the 2018 model.
Yeah.
That's a laptop.
But Apple does have some refurbished versions of iPads on Amazon now that you can get directly from them, but they're like the mini 2s and 4s and stuff like that. So they're really old, but they're still Apple tablets. They still work, and you know, I don't think anyone can really afford to just give, at least no one that watches this show or is a host on this show can probably afford a Tesla at this point.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, if you can and you want to like give that to someone, great, but don't give it to them unless they have a means to charge it up, because that's also a thing for electronic cars. They need to be able to charge up. And I don't think where we live there's any level 3 chargers. There's only level 2 public chargers, so that's a thing too. And that takes like 12 hours to charge up. Yeah. But aside from a tablet or a laptop, you can also maybe get them a new console, like get them a PS4 or a Switch, like I mentioned. The Switches are typically like around 300. PS4s, they're going on sale nowadays for Christmas, so there's that. TVs are a thing. Or, you know, find out what they're interested in. They might be interested in streaming, so maybe get them a webcam or a camcorder, or, you know, something that will help them with their stream or whatever hobbies that they may have. And don't just get them something just to get them something. Like that's always my thing for Christmas. And like, try and get them something that they would actually appreciate, that actually says you are looking out for them. Now you're not just getting them. I remember the year I got one of those remote control helicopters and I was in my 20s. Like, I'm still in my 20s now, but like I was like 24, and like my one of my family members gave me like this remote control helicopter, and I'm like looking at it like, gee, thanks. Like I could have enjoyed this probably when I was like 16 and under. I have no interest in this kind of stuff anymore.
Last time I actually got something remote control was this remote control car. I feel like I was under 16 when I got that.
Yep, exactly. Saying all these are tech gifts, no ice creams or food or even packs. Well, these are tech Christmas gifts. One. I mean, if you wanna send cookies down here, then I mean, feel free to. I don't know how long it'll take. They may be stale by the time I actually get them. But
I like sugar cookies. So, ooh,
yes, white pancakes. That Rem statue in my background.
I see we got ReZero fans. Yes.
We have a lot of haters within our personal WhatsApp group who hates ReZero. I think Vicky and I
I give it a 50. I give it a 50-50. First half was good. Second half was just too much going on.
Yeah. But Rem, she's good. She's best girl for a while. So you'll buy me an Amelia one. I will appreciate that. I'll put them right next to one another. But yeah, guys, that's it for this week's episode of MOAR Tech. Again, if you guys actually liked any of our recommendations, feel free to, like, when we put this up on YouTube, say, hey, check out from this point in the video here, and like, these are things that I actually like. Get me one. You know, never know, we may actually enjoy it. No, not us, but like you and like other people. I don't know why this person's still trying to call me. But like, I won't do not disturb. This is like the 4th time they would have had to call. But yeah, until next time. Well, actually, I'd like to thank Vicky for coming on. I know it's been a while, and glad to have you back on the show. And I'd like to thank our return guests, comments, haters on the show, White Pancakes, Mr. Juan, along with some new follows that we have. Yes, we got some new follows from Best G Live, who actually runs some streams as well on their channel for tournaments and stuff like that. Check them out whenever they're live. We have some people. We have IK Cake, who followed before when we first started going on. And she, well, I don't know if it's a he or she, but they followed both on Mixer and Twitch. So double thank you to you. And yeah, guys, until next time, take care.